So this is the part of the garden I'll be using some of the worm castings on. We've got our square foot where I've put one large plant in the middle and the 4 small lettuce around the outside. And the great thing about lettuce is you can chop the whole head off. Some people just harvest the outsides, but I've realised you can chop the whole head off just at ground level, like there, and they grow back. So this is the first one I chopped, and he's nearly as big as the mature one. This is the second one, and this is the third one. And they'll just keep coming back and back and back. And as you chop them down and they're not growing or just starting to grow, that gives this one time to grow some more. I'm pretty sure these are cauliflowers. Then we've got some leeks here that are very happy. And then this one had the Pak Choy all around it. When you chop the Pak Choy, it doesn't come back, which is great, because then that's going to leave all this soil with the worm castings on it for energy just for this plant. So it's going to be interesting to see if this one gets bigger than that one, because we're still growing the lettuce. Okay, Lucy. So every second one I did the Pak Choy so that we'd have that space. And then in the back we have beetroot, mixed heirloom beetroot. And then this is ruby ball red cabbage, and it's really weird because this is where it's going to start forming the cabbage. Like, we have a sugarloaf here, and he stayed low to the ground, and he's going to start forming the head in there. But these ones are so tall. So over the season and as it grows, and it's really lanky, I'm going to build up the soil here so it gets a bit higher up. And to my surprise, this Pak Choy is flowering, which is really weird. You can eat the flower, but I'm going to let that one flower because the bees love the flowers from these guys. So I might let it flower and chop it down, like, as long as it's not interfering with the growth of the other stuff. Then we've got some more leeks. So these were planted first, and every week I planted about 3 blocks. This is Great Lakes lettuce, and I already harvested one here, and it's growing back. See how they grow back? See where I've just chopped it off there? And it grows back. Then we have the Lolo Rosso lettuce. Same thing, we're just going to keep harvesting lettuce as it comes. And leeks down the middle. Now, over here hasn't been doing all that great. This was planted way early on. This was like January, and it didn't do anything for a long time. So we're definitely going to worm poo here. And even these aren't doing a whole lot. So any areas, I mean, this one's doing better. We'll harvest that soon. Red Pak Choy. Any areas that aren't doing all that great, we'll put the worm poo on and they will take off. We're going to cut down this massive sunflower and cook it up. See how that goes. The second sunflower that I cut down and cooked up didn't taste fantastic, so I don't know why. Got some alyssum growing in the rocks, which is really pretty. Hopefully they'll just keep dropping their flowers and expanding. This is another red cabbage, same thing, but that's a bit easier to bury it up. So you just take these leaves off and we'll bury it up closer. We'll use the worm poo. Right here is doing quite well, and here not so well. And I think some of that's got to do with needing to cut down the sunflowers because they'll be taking a bit of energy. And so because these are so big, then this one's not growing so well. So these are the next lot of lettuce I'll probably harvest, and then that will make room for the carrots to get a bit more food and everything too. And then we've got some carrots here. Because these guys are still so small, but they're not growing a whole lot, I'm just going to put the worm poo in between the rows. Then we can trim this off so they've got more room and see if that helps them take off. These guys have been struggling to get started for a year, so we will also, and you can see how sunken the bed is, but because they're bulbs, we don't want to bury above the rhizome, So we'll put some in and around there. And then these guys need a lot of TLC. I have not touched this bed at all. You can see how the soil sinks down. Plants are not happy, although I've been getting a lot of strawberries off this one. So this is one of the first areas that I will fix up with, and they're about a year old. Yep. Just wait, Lucy. And I'll make sure that I keep on top of that. And we'll probably do the asparagus as well, because that seems to make them happy. Then in the back we have purple snow peas, and they are a bit yellow, and yellow means that they need some nutrients, so we'll get on to that. Also, these carrots aren't doing as well as they should be. I'm nearly ready. What do you want, some lemonade? Yeah. Okay. And then in the back here, alright, Lucy's going to have a yogurt so she can stop talking while I'm talking. Yeah, so the bigger plants are doing fine, the cauliflowers and stuff, but the smaller ones look a bit yellow. These are also purple snow peas, which I direct sowed, and I just put a boatload in, and they're doing really well. But we might also worm poo up there as well. Yeah, so I have good soil there, then I put straw down to build it up a bit, and then I just put some cheap soil on top, which is this stuff. It's only $4 a bag. But I think the smaller plants, because they haven't reached down into the good soil, aren't doing that great. But the bigger ones whose roots would have gone all the way down, they're tapping into the good soil, are doing fine. So we'll just worm poo the top, and that'll get those guys going. I forgot to water one day, and these guys turned red, which is not good. But they haven't wilted yet, so there might be still some hope once we worm poo. And this is Rocket, which I think is going to flower soon. And we're also going to do this poor grapevine. He's still got some life left in him, but I've had caterpillars eat it probably 4 times, all the way down to a stick like that. So hopefully we get some worm poo on there. It was in a pot, so I think that might be why it wasn't doing so well. Get the worm poo on. Now it's in the ground, he might start doing a bit better. And then all these guys up here, same thing. I did the crappy soil on top, but there's good soil underneath. So I think they just need a bit of TLC. And come around here. Some are doing alright, but I think a bit of worm poo will help, because they're not growing as fast as what they should be. But this bed here is my favourite bed. It's doing so well because we went straight onto the good soil, and then we did a chop and drop, and we mulched again with the lawn clipping. So I'm just going to get in there and prune off any leaves that are overlapping, so that they've all got room to grow.